Hello, everybody. Today we're going to do an updated governor's prediction for the month of June. It's actually been a few months since I last did this, so it's time for an update. There's not a ton happening here. We've only got 11 states, and it's still a little bit early, but let's go through it anyway. So let's get the safe states out of the way. These are expected to be over a 10-point margin and not competitive. Let's start with the Republicans this time. Let's start in the West. We've got Utah. Incumbent Spencer Cox, I would think, would be in more danger in the primary. That primary is coming up later this month. In the general election, he should win that very easily. Next in Montana. Now that matchup is set between Greg Gianforte and Ryan Busse, the Democrat. This is the kind of state where Busse has to run kind of a Jon Tester type of campaign. He has to have a decent amount of local and cultural appeal in an otherwise red state. For now, it's an uphill climb, but it's possible Gianforte could stumble and it gets under 10. But for now, I think this is a little more likely that it stays over 10. Next door in North Dakota. Not much to say here. It's an open seat. It's a red state. It's going to stay safe. We can continue east and south into Missouri. This is an open seat. Incumbent Republican Mike Parson is term limited. Democrats look likely to put up Crystal Quade as state rep, and the GOP does have a crowded primary here. It would seem like Jay Ashcroft should be the favorite. His dad was governor and senator, but whatever primary polling there is, it's not showing any kind of a landslide for Ashcroft. Either way, in the general election, my last rating was at likely, and it's still a possibility given it's an open seat, but for now I am going to bump this up to a safe margin. Then we've got Indiana, another open seat, but we've got U.S. Senator Mike Braun. He's the Republican nominee for governor. He's going to face former Republican Jennifer McCormick. There's also going to be the same Libertarian candidate on the ballot as 2020. The last time he got over 11%. This is another one I had likely out of precaution. If I need to change it in the future, I will. But for now, I am going to again bump this up to safe. East of there, we've got West Virginia. It's an open seat, but unless Joe Manchin re-enters the race, it looks like Patrick Morrisey is pretty likely to be the next governor, so it's going to be safe. Now we go into the Northeast. We've got Vermont. And since my last prediction, we do have Phil Scott. He is going to run for a 5th term. Former Governor Democrat Howard Dean has declined to take on Scott. That could have been an interesting race, but now it's pretty much Scott all the way. They love him there. I'd be stunned if he didn't win by a landslide, so it's going to go safe. Now the safe states for the Democrats. We've only got one, and that's going to be Delaware. Democrats have a late primary to get through in September. Republicans really have no bench here. I don't think they have a chance. Maybe something develops later on in the summer, but there's just really no other evidence here for me to put this at anything other than safe. Now we've got 3 states left. Let's go through them one by one. Let's start on the West Coast in Washington. This is another open seat, and this state does use a top 2 primary system. That primary is going to be August 6th, so we've got a little bit of time left, but it looks like it's the same 2 candidates at the top. Attorney General Bob Ferguson for the Democrats, and former U.S. Rep as well as King County Sheriff Dave Reichert. Republicans have not won a race for governor here since back in 1980. It's a fairly blue state, so it's already going to be an uphill climb for any Republican. Plus, Ferguson I don't think is a weak candidate for the Dems, but maybe you say the GOP is due. They've got an open seat to work with. Things could be shifting in the state, and Dave Reichert could be the guy to get it done. He's going to need decent crossover support. He's going to have to navigate the waters with Trump on the ballot for president. I don't think it's impossible he could do it, but at this point in time, it's of course going to stay blue. I think there's enough here to not put it at safe, so it's going to go likely for Ferguson, the Democrat. Let's go all the way to the other end of the country into New Hampshire. Here we've got yet another open seat, and we've got yet another primary to get through. This one is also late. It's in September. The likely nominee right now looks like it's going to be Kelly Ayotte for the Republicans. She's facing Chuck Morse in a primary, but she's a former U.S. Senator. Her name ID is going to be high. It looks like she's more likely to face Joyce Craig on the Democrat side. Craig is going to be the more establishment pick there. So we haven't really got any updated polling. We've got a lot of time left. I think this could be competitive. Democrats have an opportunity to flip this seat, but for right now, I think Ayotte is going to start off with the advantage. It's not at all going to be significant, but until we get some updated polling, I'm going to leave this at about a 1-point tilt margin for Ayotte. The last state is, I think, the biggest race of them all. That's going to be in North Carolina, and we've got another open seat. Republicans here looking for a pickup in Mark Robinson, the current lieutenant governor. Democrats have Attorney General Josh Stein. Both of them fairly high-profile candidates. Stein seems pretty establishment and run-of-the-mill. Robinson is outspoken. He's going to be considered controversial. So it's kind of a gamble. Can Robinson thread the needle, shake off controversy, and ignite voters to turn out for him? Yeah, I think he can. I think it's going to be close. The polling from a couple of months ago did show Stein with a clear advantage. It has kind of narrowed up since then. My thinking is the state legislator here is overwhelmingly Republican, and sometimes voters do want a little bit of balance at the governor's mansion, so that could be where Stein comes in. I think there could be a lot of fireworks in this race. We haven't even really gotten into it yet. Again, I think Robinson is going to be a gamble, and if I had to pick right now, I'm going to leave the rating the same as I had back in March. I'm going to assume Stein is viewed as a little bit more more normal, it could backfire, but that's going to be just enough for him to win the state by a tilt margin. So that's it. We've got 8 for the Republicans, 3 for the Democrats, and there are actually no flips in this prediction. Definitely North Carolina is unpredictable and could go either way. New Hampshire, I think, is also basically a toss-up at this point. Other than that, there's not really much that's competitive. We'll have to keep an eye on Washington. After that, it would take something dramatic to put one of these other states on the map. We've got a lot of time left, but this is the map that I've got for June. So let me know in the comments, how does your map look? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I would think the most passion is going to be in North Carolina, but what about any of the other states? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.